5 myths related to the violin. There are a lot of people who come to me and have a lot of hesitation, a lot of comments that I get online as well about people who are afraid to start playing the violin. Here are 5 myths that I would like to bust. Myth number 1, you have to start playing the violin at the age of 3 or you have to be a child prodigy. What is a child prodigy anyway? But let me talk to you about my experience. I don't think that I was a prodigy. I started at the age of 8, but I have seen a lot of my students who have started when they are 40 years old, 45 years old. It is true that when you start as a kid, you are a bit faster. There are a lot of distractions that we have in life as we age, which we don't have as a child. So you're obviously much more absorbent as a kid. But only if you want to get onto the stage and perform in a serious manner is when you need to be starting out as a child, preferably before the age of 15. Otherwise, any age is good for you to start the violin. And if you are just looking to play the violin as a hobbyist, as someone who just wants a very positive distraction, don't even think about what age you are in. Just go enjoy yourself, enjoy the songs that you are playing, enjoy the exercises, enjoy violin playing in general. With respect to prodigy, I have always believed that a prodigy is a combination of someone who starts very young and also has a lot of parental guidance where they are able to spend a lot of time so that by a very young age they reach a very high level. Myth 2, you have to learn all the boring theory before you start playing the songs. I couldn't disagree with this more. I feel theory just has to be a vehicle that will get you to playing songs to a more practical approach. What you need is the basic Swara theory, and also, very importantly, what you need are the songs. It's not just a case of, hey, theory is boring, songs are interesting, so we need to teach songs. But I feel like all the techniques that you learn are basically being utilized in the songs. The proof of concept that you've learned a technique well is in the playing of a song. So I feel like the songs need to come right from the start. With respect to Soul Swara, we ensure that we get a song taught as soon as you are able to pick up a violin, have a decent posture, and are able to play the first few notes. Myth number 3, you should have learned music first to learn the violin. Well, I do feel like any musical background is useful when you're learning any instrument. But when it comes to learning the violin, or for the matter, any other instrument, it is something that you can learn along with. It's impossible to learn the violin and not learn music, guys. So it's always going to be a fact that you are going to be learning the music as you play the violin. What I would say, and I suggest this to all my students who have gotten ahead in violin playing, is when you have a bit of time, try and learn some vocals. Try and at least be a bathroom singer. It is nice to be able to express yourself with your voice, however professional or however hobbyist it's going to be, so that you can figure out that expression with your violin. Learning the violin, whether you're starting from scratch or picking it back again, Soul Swara helps you to learn one note at a time, 10 minutes a day, with very well explained videos where you can learn from your own space and at your own pace. Along with my skilled faculty, we have taught thousands of students all across the world. With expert-led videos, self-paced progress, and guidance from teachers, you are never alone when playing the violin. Start your violin journey with soulswara.com. Link in the description. Myth 4, you need to go for in-person classes to learn the violin. I'm very happy to say that this was something that I also thought about 7-8 years ago when I started teaching. But thanks to COVID, thanks to everything that we have done since COVID, it is possible to be an absolute beginner. And by absolute beginner, I'm talking about someone who does not know how to hasn't touched a violin before, right? That makes it very clear what an absolute beginner is. It is possible for them to see few videos, self-paced videos, and be able to learn the violin from the posture to the first bow stroke to the first few notes and to learning a plethora of songs. A lot of things that we are doing in Soul Swara, I feel over the next 6 months, I'd be able to claim that what you're going to be learning with all the tech related features is going to make it one step better than even an in person class. You're going to be having a virtual guru that's going to be there throughout your practice sessions as well as your classes. Myth number 5, you need to spend a lot of money on gear to be able to be a good violin player. Well, let me address this for the acoustic violin and for the electric violin. Acoustic violin first. All you need is a basic beginner violin. You have variants of Indian beginner violins, you have Chinese, you have Koreans. You can pick any one of these. Just make sure you go and get a good violin with a good action, with a good setup done, and you should be on your way. As you progress from the first few levels to the next few levels, then you can consider getting a basic or an intermediate violin, something that's different from the beginner violin that you have. But I would say that the key to playing well, having a good tone, lies more in your hands than in the violin as such. Even with your violin that you have, you can look at accessory upgrades like strings, like the kind of rosin that you use on your bow to be able to incrementally increase the quality of the sound coming from your violin. With respect to electric violin, it's very clear. All you need is a basic processor, and you get that for 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 rupees, and probably an equivalent of $150 in the US, where you would be able to get a multi FX processor that just has a decent reverb, a decent delay, and maybe a couple of other effects like chorus, octaver. This is good enough for you to get started. All you need is a tone shaper on an electric violin, a reverb, and a delay, and that's all you need. The ton of equipment that I use on my stage gear, I still end up using the reverb, the delay, and EQ mainly for most of my concert. So this is enough to get started on your electric violin and sound good. So there you go. These are 5 myths related to the violin, which I completely think are wrong. So don't worry about all these myths. Pick up a violin, get started with learning, and enjoy your violin journey.